right, welcome to Sunrise. It's now time for From the Bleachers, a feature with Wayne Walker. No, apologies. We're going to be doing that feature later. We're going to go straight to our next segment. REMAX and Food for the Poor are partnering to build 10 homes for needy families in Jamaica. Here to tell us more, I have Colette Kirkcaldy, the General Manager of REMAX Elite. We have Marsha Burrell-Rose. Marsha is the Development Marketing Manager for Food for the Poor. And we also have Keith Allen. Keith is a past recipient and of one of the houses that were built through this partnership. Welcome to Sunrise, ladies.
Morning,
welcome,
morning,
Keith. We're starting with you now, Marsha.
Me?
Yeah, you're in the hot seat today over there by yourself.
Oh, exactly.
Talk to us about this initiative.
Well, we started in 2015, and it was our idea of getting persons to understand what Food for the Poor is doing in Jamaica. So we use this as our showcase.
Yeah.
So we started in 2015, and our target was always to try to build 100 homes for the needy. And right away, REMAX came on board.
Awesome.
And we have just formed this wonderful partnership. And throughout the years, each year, they donate a home for a family. And you know, we're here to celebrate their 10th anniversary, and they're going to do it with 10 homes. But the 5K is really to help those who are in need, one, and also to see how we can help persons in generating income. So for the last 2 years, we have basically changed the concept of just only building homes, but also include our agricultural projects. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is to ensure that once we build a home, we also try to figure out how we can help somebody generating income. Yeah. So we have our different agricultural projects. So definitely this year we'll be pushing harder. Last year we built 4 houses for a family within the same area, same community, yeah. And we gave them a project, and we started them off with a goat business, and it's really doing well. And that's what we want to do. We want to move the Jamaicans from just coming to Food for the Poor every day. Right. How can I get? Let's see how we can help them and move them to generating income. I'm
going to come back to that, but first, Lady REMAX, what was the magnet that pulled you at your organ?
Definitely. Definitely, Marsha, definitely.
In addition to Marsha, what other magnets pulled you towards this project?
Well, of course, Marsha has great energy, her passion, and over the years, REMAX has always donated to charities. We've been very involved, and we've always been looking for something else that we can make the most significant contribution. And as it turns out, the same year, Marsha just launched, well, Food for the Poor just launched their 5K.
Yes.
So we saw all the marketing and advertising, and we're like, okay, this is something that we could definitely get involved with. And their vision and their passion was aligned with what REMAX wants to do for the nation by helping other needy families, especially in the most vulnerable areas.
Correct.
And it really pulled us to it, because then we were saying, there's so many families out there that need our help. And this is where we thought that our help would be most appreciated,
yes.
And actually for such a worthy cause. So it was definitely the vision, and yes, and we were definitely on board with that.
And speaking of win, Keith, this partnership has helped other persons, but importantly today we're going to speak about the impact it has had for you and for your family.
Food for the Poor do one of the best work when him bought me a house. I was so thankful, because I was living in nothing at all. So it was great, thankful, and good for me.
Right. You've brought with you a lot of trophies and photographs. So we're going to start off with this one, youngster here from Red Hills Primary. Who is this?
This is my only son.
Yeah.
Me and him live, I grew him from almost a month old.
You were in the studio when we were speaking earlier with a lecturer from UTech about the fatherless situation and how the impact it is having on our boys. You are here today to speak about this benefit from Food for the Poor, but I want to give you a personal shout out and big up as one of those men who are ensuring that your son is not going to end up in the statistics he's speaking about. Now, when you are able to, through REMAX and Food for the Poor, put yourself and your son in a safe shelter, speak about the changes in his life that you have observed since then?
It's word I can't even talk. It's good. Food for the sport take me outside of door, man. Put me in a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you raised your son from he was 1 month old.
1 month old.
Right. Where is he now? This was when he was in primary school. Is he still in primary school?
No, he's high school now.
Which high school?
He's at Ulmaz High School.
Yeah.
Fourth farm.
Fourth farm.
Yeah.
Getting ready for his CSEC.
Yeah, because them called me now, say to do him exam.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you see your face, and by the way, viewers, no surprise, I am a moment away from tears. But Marsha, Colette, when you hear this testimonial, and when you can match it across the rest of the sad and troubling news across society, how does that make you feel? Same question for Colette.
Let me tell you something. When I first met Mr. Allen and I saw, if you saw where he was coming from, then you'd probably be in tears. And just to see what he was doing with his son under the circumstances, believe me, it was very emotional. And that is why when we decided to find a recipient, I had to pull on Mr. Allen, because not only he's a recipient of a Food for the Poor house, he's also an example of
course.
Your circumstances don't dictate who you are and what you can become, because he's an amazing father to his son. And you know, there are so many persons out there who are in need that we can help change their lives. It's just one person at a time, and that's all it is.
Yeah. Colette?
Well, to be honest, it's always very emotional, especially when you see where most of our Jamaican people, of course, who have the struggles. So when you see where they're coming from, and for each different project that we work with Food for the Poor, I mean, it is always so emotional for us, for our entire team. And I'm going to tell you, Raymond, it's a very humbling feeling. And it's so much different from when you're donating the funds as opposed to when you're there on the projects, building with Food for the Poor. And I mean, I think everyone needs to get involved like that, because it is such a humbling feeling, and then you'll get to understand more what is happening out there with our fellow Jamaican people. So it's always so emotional for me.
I would like to use this opportunity to invite Jamaicans and persons overseas to get involved in our 5K, which is on May 19th. And registration is open now, and they can go to our website, www.foodforthepoorja.org. It's only $1,200 by April.
The information is also
there,
on
April
our screen.
19th.
Right, and the actual event is May 19th.
May 19th, yeah.
And I just want to say thanks for coming in and sharing this story. I know these two, and they're used to TV, but it's good to have one of the real persons. This is the reason why organizations like Food for the Poor exist, and we thank corporate sponsors like REMAX, and we invite our viewers to participate as well. Personal plug to Food for the Poor. It's not, they call Food for the Poor, but the food is really the spirit and the opportunity and the platform for self-development that they provide. And I'm going to quickly throw to From the Bleachers, because the goosebumps, etc., I can barely hold it in. Let's see what Wayne is focused on for us in this week's feature.
So the 2018 World Indoor Athletics Championships is now history. Jamaica left the Birmingham Arena with just 2 medals, 2 silver medals to be exact. This represents our worst medal haul at the Games in about 10 years. Indeed, what happened in Birmingham this past weekend is just the latest evidence that the power base in world athletics, certainly in the sprints, has started to shift. Since the 2008 Beijing Olympic Games, when Jamaica blitzed the world, the black, green and gold dominated at the medals in every single global senior championship up until last year in London at the World Championships. When Jamaica won a solitary gold in the British capital to coincide with the end of the Magnificent Bolt era, the signs had started to take shape that the glory days are now in the rearview mirror. Yes, Jamaica did not take its strongest team to the world indoors. Not many nations do, but in the dominant years, we didn't take our strongest team either, yet we were winning 2 or 3 gold medals. What was also glaring this time around is that Jamaica's 2 medals came in the field events, both from the females in the shot put and the triple jump. I mean, it warms the heart to see Jamaica winning more medals in field events at these global championships. Because 10 years ago, to talk about Odin Richards winning bronze in the discus at the World Outdoors, and now these 2 female, Danielle Thomas Dodd and Kimberly Williams with silver medal indoors, one would think you're going nuts. And there are 1 or 2 other field events prospects with live medal shots in field events, so Jamaica's future looked pretty much secure in that event. But with all due respect to those events, to most Jamaicans, athletics is about the track events, more so the sprints, the glamour events, the events that every Jamaican can relate to. Because we all at some stage in our lives try to sprint. We naturally try to run fast no matter what. Add to that, it is in the sprints that have made Jamaica so special around the world. It is what we're better than the world at. It's the event where Jamaica has had the fastest man and woman in the world every year for the past 10 years, and both of them reigning at the same time. And so that is why when the country left London with only 1 gold in the track events and now none in Birmingham, the panic buttons went off. It's almost a given that Jamaica must win at least a gold medal at all the major championships and preferably in the sprints. And that is so because we have been spoiled for 10 years and now we're finding it difficult to readjust. It's a natural process that's taking place and we just have to deal with it. Nothing lasts forever, and that's more so in sports than anything else. There was a time when the United States set the standards in global sprinting, so much so that when Jamaica took over from them in 2008, they found it very hard to deal with and they tried everything to reclaim it. It just so happened that they tried at a time when Jamaica had the greatest sprinter the globe has ever known, and in Shelley Ann Fraser-Pryce and Veronica Campbell-Brown, 2 of the greatest female sprinters of all times. And with those superpowers, there was simply nothing the USA or any other country for that matter could do about it. All of those are now either gone or past their best, a reality Jamaica must not only wake up and accept, but also to find a way to deal with, or else we could be back in the sprinting wilderness for a very long time and having to get used to field events, saving our blushes at these major championships.